Okay, I think I'm back. Had a little technical difficulty there. Anyway, continuation of the previous video titled, Would You Still Transition If You Knew the Outcome Was You Would Never Be Passable? And this all started with Training Star Galactica. So anyway, um, there's just so many different, varying degrees of an individual's transition. Not all of the girls transition to um, get gender reassignment surgery. Not all girls transition to get facial feminization surgery. You know, they all transition at different levels and degrees accordingly. Um, I mean, some girls would think, why would you go through all of that if you didn't want to become a passable female? Well, that's the obvious question to somebody that wants to be a female. You know, why put yourself through that? Why live with you know, that in-between stage is a really difficult place to be. That's a difficult place where I am right now. You know, I get mad and missed quite frequently, but I know you guys look at me and say, you don't pass, honey, and I'm not saying that I do, but on many, many occasions, either they're just very kind-hearted people and they give me the benefit of the doubt, or some just accept me, quite frankly. But it is flattering when it does happen, and you all know how that feels when it begins to happen for each and every one of you. And we want that to happen to us all the time if we are the ones that choose to move through society as females and be recognized as such, and forget that male stigma. There's an attitude that goes along with that sometimes that I don't know that I'm so crazy about when I hear some of the girls' videos out there. I might make a video on that some night. I think it's actually out of line, but I can't speak for other people. They all have their reasons, and maybe if they went into depth in explaining them, maybe I would better understand. But some of their attitudes I really feel are a little bit out of line in regards to that. So anyway, again, the girls that there's so many girls that don't wish to transition to that stage anyhow. But for the ones that transition on the premise that they're doing it to become a female and to be recognized as one 100%, and if they don't achieve that, boy, I don't know what to say if they don't achieve it, because boy, they could be in for a huge surprise if it never happened. I mean, I've met some girls that, and seen some girls online that have spent significant amounts of money in surgical procedures, and they still look like men to me. I don't think there's anything they could do that could ever change that. And I wonder if some of these had that mindset prior to that, prior to those investments, and prior to all that pain and suffering and everything they go through to be that. Boy, you know, I ask that question to myself, you know, when I look at myself and I've had some assessments done. Gee, after spending that kind of money and going through what I'll put myself through to achieve what it is I'm seeking, am I going to look like a woman? Well, if the outcome is no, That's part of the question again. Would you still transition? Because I think when we're asked that question, would you still transition, isn't just would you take hormones and become a beautiful woman. If it was that easy, maybe a lot more people would be doing it, but that's not the goal, is to take a magic pill and in a couple of months you're going to be a beautiful young teenager again. That's just not a reality. And so for a greater majority of us, we need extensive procedures. And after those investments to get those procedures, if those procedures don't meet our expectations, then what do we do? Um, I know, I mean, like I said, for me personally, I've talked to a couple of surgeons, and I am told, even at my age, um, that they feel that I could be um, feminized yet. You know, I need some pretty extensive work done, given my age and some things I have going on, but we all have them to a certain degree. But, more importantly is like, am I going to spend that kind of money if I know I'm never going to be passable? Um, I mean, if I had the money to spend right now, would I do it? Absolutely. Um, do I think I would be passable? I think I would be. And could I cope if I wasn't? Yes, I could. But what would probably hurt me more at that point would be that financial investment and then never really obtaining the final goal of being a passable female. I just don't think that I could spend that kind of money and not pass. But I've seen others that have, so it would be a concern. And so that might be, again, I think I might do a future video on it, but prioritizing the order of medical procedures if one is on that path or that journey. If you, for example, know that you want a vagina, gender reassignment surgery, you know you want breast augmentation, maybe some body sculpting, I have no idea. They don't talk much about that. No, many of the girls, I don't hear it mentioned much at all. Personally, myself, I don't really feel I need any body sculpting per se. I would like some nicer hips, but um, I could live with my natural breasts even though they're small and they're still growing. But important surgeries to me would be those three: GRS, breast augmentation, and facial feminization surgery. The rest of it I could live with, and I could live without the breast augmentation, quite frankly. The GRS and the facial are the most important. Those are paramount for my transition. And whether I ever get to get those procedures, time will tell. Something magical will probably need to happen. I don't have as much time as a lot of you girls do. I'm much older, and that's unfortunate for me, but it's a fact, and I have to deal with it. And if I don't get those, I'm living with the transition that I'm able to move forward with up until whenever that time expires. Um, and I'm accepting of myself more and more as I move forward in my transition. So I think that's what is more important. And I'm still nurturing that and finding acceptance within myself, whether I pass or not. So I hope I still feel that way after the fact, post-op, if that happens for me.